can be a more dynamic scorer. One of the things that we've harped on this year is the lack of shot creation from him. We haven't seen it as consistently as we'd like to.
When you come from Finland and you go to college and you don't work on those things because you're just so much better than everybody, you're so used to being able to shoot your three whenever you want it, you can fall into a lull in your working on your craft because it's worked for you. What you've been doing has worked. So why should I change it? You know, and there's only so many guys like that come into the league that are like, man, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough yet. I need to work on this. I need to work on that. And there are guys that will come in the league and be like, you know what? I got here doing what I do. Why am I going to change it? Sometimes guys got to be punched in the mouth with some real.
Criticism is not hate, and praise is not fandom. When I'm criticizing Lowry, it's because I think he's better.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
We are here.
Hello, Barroom Network, Chicago Bulls fans worldwide. Welcome this evening to Chicago See Red Radio, brought to you by Freedom Games, brought to you by the Barroom Network. Welcome to the show, J.E., the Vandal, Joshua Ellis. Say what's up to everybody.
See Red, Bulls Nation. How we doing today? You know, you know what it's about. See Red Radio, where bros talk Bulls.
Game 6.
Most gracious, man. What's going on, everybody? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Jay, you know, representing the network right now. We're just excited to break down some hot topics for you all, man. So many things popping up in Chicago, some good, some bad, but everything worth deserving to discuss, man. So Freedom Games, it's up to you, bro.
My man. And so getting started off, thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to talk some Bulls. We know it's been a 4-game skid, and we might be feeling kind of low and depressed, but we're gonna block out the negativity, get down to brass tacks, what's going on, and see if there's any hope in the near future with Zach LaVine being out. But before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and just get my excess game on real quick. At the end of the day, it's all about muscle recovery, okay? All B vitamins, no carbs, no sugar. Check the link down at the subscription box and get your gains in, all right? But starting off real quick, fellas, we're going to talk about these last 4 losses, okay? We know we got some tough roads ahead, but to know where you're going, you got to know where you've been, okay? Against the Hawks, Timberwolves, hey, we went back home, to the home of the trade, if you will, to get Vooch last night, and we had a tough one against Memphis. And so kicking it off real quick, Josh, just the whole sum total brought your thoughts about the last 4 losses combined. And what are you seeing?
As a fan, it's like, yo, stop losing. But as a coach and a player, it happens. It's part of the game. And the beauty of it is, it's not like football where it's like, yo, you lose 4 games of football or whatever, somebody might not have a job. Or it might be Black Monday for somebody. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. And, you know, it's really, you know, to quote Joel Embiid, you got to really trust the process. Like, in a perfect world, it'd have been ideal if we came in, clicking on all cylinders, and we just won out and ended up in the 3rd or 4th seed. But we got to be realistic. You know, if all these other teams that are in the top half of the East are already well-oiled machines or stacked with enough bodies where they can rotate and get things done, we are in a position now to make those things happen. Those things won't happen overnight. you know. And so we just got to be. I mean, I would tell everybody to be the patience my brother has with the Bears is what I would ask you to have with the Bulls. I don't have that patience with the Bears, but I have it with the Bulls. And so it's like I would just ask you to be patient. It's gonna take some time. And we knew that this was about the end game. So it was about rebuilding for the future. And yeah, we want to win right now, but if we can't win right now, regardless of the slump, like it could be a longer one. And if we don't make it for whatever reason, cool. We're hiring the draft for a stronger rebuild for next season. Not saying we're tanking or anything like that. We're definitely going to play and we're trying to get there, but you can't get discouraged about 4 losses because 4 losses in the NBA aren't that big of a deal.
Josh, what do you think contributed to these losses, bro?
Just inconsistencies, man. But at the same time, it's like it's weird because playing ball is just like this happens, and in my mind, I'm looking at it all as growing pains. It's like like I say, in a perfect world, you can come in and you can click, and we know Zach and Vooch are excited to play together. But at the end of the day, whatever, even though there are 2 all-stars, there's more people on the team, and so we can't necessarily hold them accountable, even though they're going to face the scrutiny of the media the most because they are all-stars. But we got other people that they gotta play and they gotta make plays. And until we're there, which will be, I believe, sooner than later. We just gotta I just say stay locked and stay focused. You gotta have. I tell my players that you gotta have a shooter's memory. Like it doesn't matter if the last shot goes in or if you miss, you can't forget about it because what happens is your memory is tied to your muscles, and so if you harping on to negative memories, it's going to ultimately affect the output of your muscles. So if you that's what happened. That's what creates a shooting slump. You gotta forget you missed and keep shooting like you never missed. But if after a while you develop a subconscious that I missed a shot, and then your form changes, and then you don't hit anything. And so I would do the same thing with a regular game playing basketball. We have to forget the past 4 days happened. What we watch film, see what we did wrong, adjust, of course, correct and adjust, and then implement a new plan of attack. Hopefully addressing those misconceptions that we had on defense or continuity on offense that was going to ultimately get us to W.
Game 6. What you thinking, big dog?
Oh man, I just following up everything that Josh just broke down. I was looking at the stats of the last few games, and the constant variable has definitely been Nikola and LaVine. Setting the pace offensively, and with this absence right here, guys, what I'm really noticing is like there's going to have to be a stepping up of Kobe White. I didn't really take a look at the last game yet, but the first game he lost to the Hawks and everything, Kobe White had 11. The following game he had 11, and in that third loss he had 6. So you're talking about LaVine being out because of health issues, and then just even off these 4 losses, it really makes us, you gotta have patience. Like you definitely have to have patience and understand that we're definitely gonna have some off-season moves. We got some off-season moves happening. I know we talked about it episode that there's potentials of like the Lonzos, the Chris Pauls, the D Roses. I know we're gonna segue into that later on in the show, but there's optimism. There's definitely a reason to look at everything like half full, not with a false sense of belief, but understanding that it is a process. I mean, look at the Sixers. They look so good, like they deserve to win a championship type of thing because it is just a process. They had dominant pieces, and then they started forming around those pieces. We have 2 dominant pieces, and we're going to start forming around them. It's the first year that we've had these 2 dominant pieces together. So like with another year of like LaVine and Nikola, man, and just with more pieces, more stable, I'm telling you, like it's only up from here with the Bulls. But I say it to say you can't look at these past 4 games as a where we're going to be in the future. Even if we don't make the play-in or playoffs or what have you, it's really just a matter of just knowing that we have talent and we're going to make some acquisitions in the summer. Like that is a fact. So we're only going to get better. So there's no reason to be upset as a Bulls fan or Chicago fan in general, man. So that's what I got, Freedom Games.
Yeah, bro. I mean, before we jump to the next topic, I mean, Bulls Nation, I understand positivity, and I'm not just trying to be positive, but like if this was a stock, I would be buying if everybody's so low on it, because the fact of the matter is, from what I've seen collectively, I'm not gonna go too far back. Just from the two, you got Zach LaVine averaging over 27 points per game. Okay, you got Nikola giving you double doubles every game, also hitting 2 to 3 from behind the arc every game. Okay, he hit 5 threes in the first half yesterday. What I'm happy about is also our upside, also our downside. We have a surge of offense, guys. We can score, But the fact of the matter is that it's the same two guys. It's the same two guys. And at the end of the day, we've been in some good games, but against Memphis, we were winning. We had the game. We were in the fight. We were winning in the second quarter. We were down. We actually came back in the fourth. We just don't have. I want to break all these different games down. You got Satoransky. I like what I'm seeing from my team offensively. It's a different level of disappointment. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I know as fans we just want the W, but this is the brass tacks. It's hard to win games when you have double-digit turnovers in back-to-back games. It's hard to win a basketball game anyway. And also remember, I know it's not like football, but it's hard to win in the NBA. I'm not giving excuses. The facts of the matter is, if you're going to have more turnovers and if you're going to have more people on the opposition, Orlando had over 5-6 guys in double digits. The Bulls only had 3 guys in double digits. I know we're going to talk about the trade and everything going forward. Maybe we can move towards that, Josh, about like who won the trade. But the fact that as we jump into that topic, we have lost 3 of the 3. The last 10 we lost 3 of 8. It got to get better, but it's a lack of. I'm seeing a missing piece on defense. I don't think we're tough enough. We have a team. We're grit, but for example, if this team had a Dennis Rodman, I think we'd be the number 1 team in the East, because I don't think we have that defensive dog. I know Patrick Williams had that phenomenal block, and there was like 1,000 retweets off of it. But besides that, there's nobody muscling people. Like when Vooch tries to muscle and he can't do it, he kicks it out. We're hitting clutch threes. We're hitting big shots. But there's nobody defensively stopping these other guys from stopping to give them the second. It's not just the second chances. It's the points of turnovers, and it's the points of second chance, the points of second chances, opportunities. But voting the trade, Josh, I'm gonna kick it to you real quick. Who's winning who won the trade? Who won the trade, bro? At this point,
I mean, we won a trade, and that's it's like me as mad as fans we can be as mad as we want to be that we're not winning right now. We won the trade. We are a better team than we were before the trade deadline. We shed a lot of dead weight, and we got some really good guys that are just figuring it out. And that's why, as putting on my teacher hat, I can't give us an A because there's room for improvement, but I can definitely give us a B, B or B plus. The reason why is because we finally did something. It's not. It's one thing to not do anything or do anything wrong, but we finally did something, and the effort is there from the front office to make this make sense. And I can see the forest for the trees, and I think a lot of people can. So I think that over time, this will prove to be the right move, especially as with the acquisitions like Game 6 spoke to in free agency and in the off season, acquiring a couple of more pieces. Like I said, when's the last time we had it's been 10 years since we've had 2 All-Stars? Because remember when Jimmy emerged, Derek was recovering. And so before that, the last time we had multiple Bulls in the All-Star game is with Noah and Ding and Rosen around. So it's like So, you know, and then that's because they had, you know, they threw them in there because, you know, of we were 62-20 that year. So Derrick Rose couldn't be the only one to make the All-Star game. But that was 10 years ago. So people got, so my thing is like, I think I think we're in a good spot. You know, it's just like we got to get used to having more players again. But at the same time, to your point, Tyler, is like turnovers are a big deal. And everybody can't sit around and watch the two All-Stars and wait for them to save us. You know, like I said, Kobe White's inconsistencies is something that, you know, we spoke to. And, you know, and like, again, I'm not being tough on a young bull, but at the end of the day, whatever, you got to produce because this is a business. And if you don't, you know, again, we got to make some moves to get somebody in here that can. And I'm right. And this isn't Kobe White's fault, but to your point, Orlando went crazy. Of course, Orlando had nothing to lose, and they had to prove that we don't need Vooch. And so that's why you got guys who don't normally touch a basketball scoring double digits. When we got, and for us, it's just our all-stars. It's just our perennial, it's just our prolific players and nobody else. Whatever. Everybody else is like, oh, we got this. And Orlando's playing hungry. That's the thing. We got to play hungry on both sides of the ball. And what happens is, just as a basketball coach and a basketball player, turnovers occur when you are either A, nervous, or you don't respect your competition. When you feel like you're better than a team, your passes are careless. You don't have the same integrity. You notice that a sorry team will play really, really good around the better team or the best team is because they know they can't afford to make any mistakes to risk a blowout. You know, what happens is with better teams, or even if you're not the best team, you know you're better than somebody. We've all known you play to the level of your competition. But if your competition is lesser, they're playing for real, and they're going to capitalize on every mistake you make and make you look foolish. So, you know, they'll watch tape, they'll adjust. But right now, I'm giving us a solid B because I feel like we can be at a B plus, A minus at the end of the season, and I feel like I would definitely have an A. Well, the trade will be an A after the rest of free agency and beginning of next season.
Solid stuff right there, bro. Solid stuff right there. And Jay, before I kick it to you real quick, you're right, because the fact of the matter, we were losing by like 20 points. We were losing by 20 points. The Bulls came back, got to within 8, and then what happened? A turnover. Not even just a turnover, a pass that shouldn't have never been made. We got too happy too fast when we just should have said to stay focused. And so, but those are the things. That's kind of that. I wanted to see the general manager's face this morning when he came down to the coach's office like, bruh, I gave you everything you wanted. We still losing. Like, what's going on? Because of the fact of the matter is like, yo, I gave you what you needed. I saw the coach come in like Mad Panda and just throwing like, yo, whatever you're doing, it ain't working. Like, it ain't working because I'm giving you the piece. Like, he like, I can see AK coming like, yo, coach, keep on losing here. Keep on losing. But the fact, did they win the trade? In my opinion, the guys that we gave away weren't doing that. They played. Let's give these guys credit. Karl Anthony Towns played amazing the other night. He played great. These guys, it's okay to give your opposition respect. These guys, they want to play their best against us. Orlando wants to prove something. All these past former Bulls, all of a sudden, they want to show up and show out. You got traded because you weren't doing that consistently with us. But Vooch is doing that. Like, Vooch is taking some big-time shots. I mean, like, Jordan, step back, pick and roll. Like, it's just like, yo, he is doing this.
Hey, do that again. Do that again.
Yeah, I've been practicing.
Step back.
Jordan, game 6, what you got, bro?
So funny. You guys are hilarious. Never gets old. I mean, Josh, J, man, that was like right there again. Like I'm just following, logic right there. I think I would definitely give it a B, if not even a B plus, because truth be told, it was a very solid asset. We're still making the case right now that Nikola, even outside of maybe a past prime Paul Gasol, maybe the most talented big man we've had since the 90s Bulls, So it's just like, I learned how to block shots because of Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry. So we've had some big men, but it's just like the way that he moves, the way he's so skilled, and he can guard the point guard, but he can dribble the basketball too. He can take it to the rack. Like he has great movement, great footwork, very similar to Joel Embiid. And you all saw his footwork yesterday. It was crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like,
crazy.
because like his footwork at that size is just ridiculous. He's very skilled. Nikola is obviously probably not on that level, but like in terms of being skilled, he's more skilled than he is just a big man. You know, like Giannis, for example, is very athletic and he's developing his skill. Nikola is very skilled working on his athleticism, if that makes sense. So like I think you got to give it a B because he's only getting better. He's 30 and truth be told, we're not done with pieces. So it's like if this was all we were getting and this is all we got, then it's just like it would still be a B because he would still be our second best player right now. Until the other players on the team prove otherwise, he's our second best player. So, you know, from that measure, it was a good pickup, you know, because he automatically became our second best player, if not arguably our best player.
1,000% agree because it's been times where if it wasn't for Vooch, we wouldn't be in the game.
Yeah,
like we got to remember before Vooch, like Zach, it was kind of almost like Zach was like Derrick Rose back in the day with not that much help. Now, I don't want to give disrespect. My man Daniel Thesis, he's playing some good balls to bench. Great ball to bench. He's active around the hoop. He's very, very active on the boards. Second chance points. All those things matter. I like glue guys like, hey, that guy's sticking out. That guy's sticking out. We know it's a new front office, new coaching staff. Seeing what this is not bad for first year. Like perspective, we know as fans we want to win. We want to win right now. That's what we want. But it's like from what we had to what we got right now, I'm excited. But it's like, dang, you get excited, but we want those instant gratifications, or we want those instant results. It's coming, but the front office you can only do but so much. Now we want to see what's going to step up. So as we move on to what are we missing? I mean, I know it's a true beat up topic. What are we missing? Is it a down low player? Is it a point guard? Is there a point guard out there is there a point guard out there that could come back home and change his team? Jordan, game 6, what do you think?
I believe there is. I believe there is. You know, people lower your weapons. Let me break down the story right here of this young man, Derrick Rose. You know, concrete Rose right there. You talk about what we need. We need solidification. We need a solid foundation. Who will bring that back more than Derrick Rose? Like outside of like Lonzo Ball and Chris Paul, because I think the guard is what we need. Because I finally did that look up on Kobe White on the last game with Orlando. He had 2 points. So yeah, like I love Satoransky. Like that's my guy. Actually, just watching him play, he's very skilled. But like it's just him at the guard, and Levine's out, so it's just him right now. Because look, Kobe White, he's not as consistent as a Ben Gordon, and he shoots just like him, but he isn't the answer. We need, and you talked about defense as well. You know, Chris Paul, a defensive veteran leader at the point guard position. You know, that can definitely, you know, add value to Zach LaVine and in Nikola. But when we talk about what's going to bring it back to Chicago. You know, when the pandemic's over and the United Center's open, you know, it's just like that's what we're talking about. When you hear that in the Raptors, number one, and he's from Chicago, it's just like that carries weight. You know, it's just like if you're deciding between Lonzo Paul and Rose, it's just like you got to go to Derrick Rose because he doesn't have to be even the top 2 option anymore. He would literally be the 3rd option because Nikola's the truth, and Zach LaVine is like he's just climbed. He just had a career high out of this 4-game losing streak. So he's making his case right now. He's a top 3 shooting guard in the league. He's a top 3 shooting guard behind Bradley Beal. You know, in terms of points, but his PER is right up there. His field goal percentage is right up there, and then the points are there. It's just like so when you have a top 3 shooting guard. And then you got at least a top, I would say a top 5 center in the East. At the very least, we can agree on that. And then you bring back Derrick Rose and you acquire some more talent, you know what I'm saying? Because you can get Derrick Rose for the low. When those Yeezy Roses coming out, Derrick Rose will take the veteran minimum for the rest of his career. He don't need the NBA money. You know, so what that does, that allows the front office to acquire more assets. So therefore, you could bring a stronger piece with the Lauri Markkanens. We can solidify that two-way position where Patrick Williams is emerging. So we can add depth to our stability, man. And I'm telling you, what we need is Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying? Turn it a little louder. Turn it a little louder. D Rose noise. Everybody make noise.
Who said that? Who said that?
You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know, but I bought his album. Okay, I bought his music, man. But that's how I feel about it, dude. Like, we need Derrick Rose, and like, it's perfect. I know we talked about, in pre-talk, the Tibbs relationship, maybe not leaving that in New York because honestly they're playing like a better team. They're functioning like you kind of expect the Knicks to win. They beat the Pelicans the other day, and they were actually a close favorite to win that game before the game even happened. Those predictions. So what they let you know is that they're on the upside. Does Derrick Rose lead that situation? I mean, he's not really tied to a franchise. If anything, he's just tied to home. So like he's not gonna retire anywhere else. Think about it. He's not gonna retire anywhere else. And I think that would be the catalyst move to allow a player like an Anthony Davis to join, maybe not this season coming up, but maybe in the fall season when his contract is up. He only has one more year left, right?
One more year.
Yeah. Is it this year?
I think it's next year.
So next year, we'll see. But if we get a Derrick Rose AD scenario with LaVine and Nikola in 2 years, championship, because the Nets and Sixers, I think they're going to dominate the East for these next 2 years. I think it's going to be the Sixers and the Nets winning titles possibly, but then after that, the Bulls. It will be the Nets, the Sixers, and the Bulls, not the Bucks, the Bulls in the conversation for the Eastern Titans, man. And the games, that's all I got, man. I got more, but for now.
I know you do. I want to talk about, man, shout out to my man Black Rain out in the chat. That was some good stuff. I mean, you're right. I mean, Satoransky, he's not the answer at guard, but we do love his play. At the end of the day, Satoransky's not afraid to get in there and create a steal. He's not a starter, but guess what? He's somebody on the bench that's fighting like a starter because when he gets in there, he's looking for a way to take it to the rack. And you could tell a player who gets in there who's looking to pass, he's looking like, yo, do I got to score? Cool, I'm going to go score. And that's what we need, somebody with some attitude, somebody with some grit. If that Satoransky is it, then that's all we got. To a Game 6's point, bring Derrick Rose home. Let's take the hashtag right now. I don't care what it takes. Hashtag bring Rose home. Why not? Bring Rose home. That's the hashtag we're going to run with. Check it out and retweet that out for us. And it just makes sense. I don't put it up there. 13 points coming off the bench. The thing with Rose is he just doesn't have enough opportunities to play. But is that smart? Did New York find out the proper formula? Because at the end of the day, his body has taken a lot over time. And so you want to keep Rose healthy. We know we love MVP Rose, but he isn't that age anymore. I believe him 1,000%. I want Derrick Rose to get a ring. I don't care how it happens. I would love for it to happen here in Chicago. If LA calls him, like Josh said, hey, yo, go to LA, get a ring real quick, come back to Chicago. Because Derrick Rose getting the ring, youngest MVP, I want Derrick Rose in the Hall of Fame because it's my favorite player of all time. Think Michael Jordan. It just makes sense. Bring Rose home, immediate impact off the bench. He can facilitate. At the end of the day, he can facilitate and he can create his own shot. Before we move to the next topic, J.E., what you think about Rose coming home? Or who do the Bulls need to bring in town? What are we missing from a positional standpoint to help? Because like Black Rain said, I believe we have a key hole in our defense.
Yeah, it's the defense. And the thing about that too is that very similar to the football franchise in our city. The Bulls have always been predicated on like defense, even rest in peace, Nabok and a Doberman defense that Pippen and Jordan would run from the left and right wings. But even when Tibbs was in town, whatever, it's like we were tenacious on defense. And we were like, even before Tibbs got there, whatever, when the Baby Bulls were there, like Ben Gordon and Kirk Hinrich and those guys were scrappy and they played defense. That was the thing, whatever. The Bulls' issue has never been who can score. It's never been who can we stop. It's like who can score. And so now that we know that we have like, and Levine just flies under the radar from so many fans and analysts because the Bulls haven't been winning. But if you look at his numbers, it's like, since everybody's so fixated on numbers, go look at his numbers. Like Jordan said, oh yeah, top 3, top 5 if you don't believe it. Like Garrett, he's in scoring. Like he should him and Bradley Beal probably are tied for the most all-star snubs like in the past 5 years because they've been putting up those same numbers and not getting in because their teams haven't been winning. And so but I also read the other day is that the Knicks might be interested in acquiring Schroeder in the offseason. If they do that, that is definitely more enticing for Derrick Rose to leave because at that point, whatever, it was like, that's just less time and minutes for him. And yeah, he's averaging 13 right now. That's only because he's working his way back. And I think Tibbs is always seen the most criticism for overrunning Rose or working him to death. But the last time Derrick Rose was in New York and he was a scoring option behind Melo and Porzingis, he was averaging like 18 and 5. So if he's a third scorer, the reason why his body's aged the way it's had to is because he's literally had to do everything for so long. If he actually had help, I'm not saying he didn't have help, but but for a long, when Derrick Rose was the Derrick Rose that most people love, and I'm gonna say this because those same people turned their back on him when he got hurt and was saying he got paid all this money, whatever. And when it was Derrick Rose a bust, everybody was a fan of him, whatever, and not realizing that he was going to, but he like that was going to take a toll on his body, and then you threw him away like aged goods. Like, oh, he can't do anything anymore because he had to do everything to even get us to that point. You know what I'm saying? It was a good moment where nobody was talking about basketball or like in Chicago until we were smart enough to not take Michael Beasley in the 2008 draft. So I would love to see it. And like every kid, as you see, Candace Parker came home. And she's in the WNBA. Shout out to Chicago Sky. But it was like everybody's from Chicago dreams of hearing their name behind the Alan Parsons Project and saying from Chicago. You notice once you're from Chicago and you go play for the Bulls, they don't say your college. They say you're from Chicago. And so everybody wants that. I feel like I told my brothers, I feel like it'll happen. I don't know if it's going to be this season, the next, but within the next 2 years, he'll be back in New Jersey because he's going to end his career where it started.
Yep.
Amen.
Excellent.
excellent point.
And my Schroeder, man. I'm sorry, T. Go ahead.
No, brother. Just all great points. I mean, I think that's one thing we just all agree on. We just from a basketball standpoint, from attacking the basket standpoint, and let's not forget Derrick Rose's defense capability. Okay, Derrick Rose's defense to shut down. Derrick Rose used to shut down John Wall. Derrick Rose, like we witnessed this, like these different things, and so he
shut down John Wall, he shut down Kyrie. All of these guards are afraid of Derrick Rose. They're still afraid of Derrick Rose. Like, and this is not me trying to cape for my man, but I am. Like, they'll tell you right now, all these elite, prolific point guards, I don't care who you are. Go look what Derrick Rose is doing to Steph Curry. Go look what Derrick Rose is doing to Brandon Jennings. Like, he was dogging these boys. Go look at Kyrie, been nice, but look what he was doing to Kyrie before LeBron came back. Go look what he was doing to Kyrie when LeBron came back. Like, even now, like the crazy part about it is whatever is like he still can't be locked up. As old as they say he is, as slow as they say he is, as washed and done as they say he is, you've yet to see him ever get shut down. Ever.
Hey Josh, Josh, go ahead and answer that question in the chat. Somebody asked in the chat, my man King, Mr. Alvarez asked, are the Bulls tanking to keep a draft pick from Orlando?
The Michael Jordan in me would praise that we're not. I went out. I don't care. I'm not a fan of tanking. I don't like that side of the business. You know, it's like I want to win. I'm too competitive. To sit by and watch us like willingly not lose on purpose, but not try to win. It's like I got a problem with anybody that just that steps on the floor and doesn't try to win. I got a bigger problem with a franchise or a front office that is cool with just letting us not try to win whatever. It's like, I don't want any more draft picks. It doesn't get you anywhere. Look at Cleveland. How many more draft picks did they have in a row and still didn't go anywhere till LeBron came home? I think they had like 3 or 4 back-to-back, didn't they? And it was like, you know, right. Like to answer your question, boss, I really hope that's not the case. I really, yeah, you're absolutely right, Black Rain. You're absolutely right. But we could do that all day. We could talk about what Debo did. You know, it's like you never going to
He did kill him, Black Rain. We saw that. Yep.
We are like, and none of them can still guard him. But to answer your question, I don't think we're tanking, or at least I want to believe we are, because from an integrity and competitor standpoint, we don't need to. We don't need to. We'll never prove what we can do or truly know what pieces we need if we're not trying to win.
Amen. Amen. Hey, Josh, real quick, I'm going to swing it right back to you in a second, because we were definitely, all three of us were talking yesterday, and we definitely like to show love to our queens of this world. And we definitely want to talk about the WNBA, the Chicago Sky. I believe they're drafting right now, and the sky is not definitely the limit. Shoot for Mars and you'll land on the moon. And so the Chicago Sky, I believe, are picking right now, or the pick may be in. But Josh, real quick, as the pick coming in, Josh, you want to just talk about the impact of WNBA, the Chicago Sky? Jordan, I know you got some thoughts on Candace Parker. And so with who we're about to draft right now, who's bringing some games to Chicago, they might draft a better guard than the Bulls got right now. What you think, Josh?
I mean, I like what we're doing, man. I'm gonna be real, like, and this is about to sound real basic. Just know the change in the Chicago Sky jerseys let me know that they got a different attitude right now. Have you seen those jerseys? Like, just even like, I mean, I love like the attention to detail in them. They were talking about how the pinstripes on the black jerseys, if you zoom in on them, they're intricate little patterns that are supposed to represent the skyscrapers. The blue jersey in the middle is actually shattered glass, because their slogan, Candace Parker actually had the shirt on TNT the other day, is to shatter all ceilings. Meaning we're breaking through everything, like playing into the fact that the sky's the limit. I'm really, really excited. Like, Candace Parker is probably my favorite female basketball player ever. Not because I believe she's from, I think when she moved here, she was Naperville, in the Chicagoland area, but she's from Chicago. And it was, for me, even when Derrick Rose changed things, it's hard for me to put on jerseys of people for other teams. So now that she's back, like, home, I'm really, really excited. Like, I love D Wade. But I couldn't root for him until he put that jersey on. You couldn't root for him until he put that jersey on, whatever. It's just my pride won't let me, whatever. I think people sleep on how good she actually is, whatever. I think it may be with her. I think with Candace, I think it may be like a Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller situation, where she had brother in the league, and I think she's better than her brother. I think she's better than Anthony Parker. Was his name?
Yeah, Anthony Parker.
She's better than her brother.
I remember him.
I've loved Candace Parker since she dunked and won at the high school dunk competition. And so, and ever since then, it was just like the way she plays. So I think bringing a Hall of Famer who's homegrown home, I think it'll just ultimately changes the dynamic of women's basketball, at least in the city of Chicago. There's so many girls now that are going to come to games and support and want to be a part of the franchise, and then they're going to build around that. And even then, because it's like, I think hopefully 80 follows suit, because he's in LA. Like, she's won her rings. Now she can come be a veteran leader and either win one here, or at least put them in a position to help build up the culture to create a winning one, because she comes from one. She's won on every level. I don't know if she won in high school, but she won in college. They won in college, right? The Volunteers won, right? I believe so. I believe she won with Pat Summitt. So she won in college, and she got at least one or two with the Sparks.
Yep.
And so it's like she comes from a winning culture. So whenever you can bring a champion into a rebuild setting, not saying the Sky are rebuilding, but you are rebuilding once you bring in a Hall of Famer. She's gonna be in a Hall of Fame. So it's like, I'm thrilled to pieces that she's there. And this is gonna be the first WNBA jersey I buy. The first one I was gonna buy was Candace Dupree back in the day when she played for the Sky. But they're cut. I mean, like they're cut and cute. They got the baby doll cut on them. And so, like, my only beef with the WNBA is like, look, make those things unisex so we can buy and support. Like, look, let's get those revenue streams up. I'm down. I'm gonna cop that. I'm gonna cop every single jersey if I can fit it. So if they, if they bring it past the ladies extra large or whatever, I'm down. I'm gonna grab it. Jordan, you can fit them now, but I can't fit it yet.
Jordan, I want to get your thoughts on the Sky. If the wizard behind the curtain, soon as that pick comes in, please post that highlights. I'm scrolling. I'm keep refreshing to see who that. I believe it's our pick.
Yeah, the clock's in. We'll see. Well, the pick's in. They're just trying to determine. This is live, guys. We're trying to determine who we just drafted. You know what I'm saying? But to segue right into that, man. Definitely loving what the Sky are doing. They're talking about some of their needs: point guard, shooting guard, power forward. To really back up what Candace Parker is going to bring to the table, because again, she's coming to her 13th season, and they're saying Shyla Hill, the point guard from Australia. Okay, that's awesome. Looks decent. All right, so we got to do some research on her, man. Like they were predicting. I forgot the lady's name. Kiana Williams, I believe. She was the standout 3-point shooter from Stanford University. She's like the all-time, women Division I's leader in 3 points made, 311 for Stanford.
She was getting busy in the tournament.
She was getting
busy in the tournament.
and it's still not over. Our next pick is second round, fourth pick, and we got eyes on a guard, and they're talking about even potentially her name is Lindsay Pulliam. Sorry from that. She senior, Northwestern University, and she's actually from the DC, Maryland area, so Silver Spring, which is, like 15 minutes from us. So it's actually, she went to Good Counsel High School, Josh, man. So
Ashley went to Good Counsel.
That's all. Yeah.
And so
she looks like Ashley, man. It's act there. Look her up. It's like Ashley, she does it, man. It's crazy. But Northwestern, it's hometown team right there. But then Silver Spring, so we got the DMV and Chicago, Evanston, vibes. But she's a baller. So, but what we're gonna do with the Sky going forward, we have Candace Parker, we have Vance Lute, who's like very prolific when it came to assisting the ball. I do personally miss Cheyenne Parker. I had the pleasure of meeting her and her husband in the offseason. Huh?
Break down Miss Hill real quick. You see Miss Hill knocking down the streets real quick? Let's look at this new addition right here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I was segueing into, I was just like, I'm going to miss Cheyenne Parker, but I was just like, what we're bringing to the table for the entire Sky is awesome, because this right here, like, we're bringing shooters, point guard, shooting guard, power forward. What Candace Parker is going to bring along with, what we already have there, like with the Sky, with with the movement, the new jerseys and everything. The sky's the limit, literally. So shout out to the ladies, shout out to the WNBA, just leading from the front in terms of just like, everything when it comes to social injustice and this public reforming. The ladies have definitely been at the front line for all these, causes and purposes and pursuits. So we appreciate you ladies for just, being a big part of that equation. Thank you.
Definitely. Amen. Josh, as you saw, man, Miss Hill, she was a set shooter. She planted her feet and she wasn't afraid to let it go. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't afraid to lock and load, and she also looked like she got a great scope of the floor.
And from what those highlights are showing us, whatever, she's scrappy, and she doesn't, even though she can shoot, she's not settling for it. So I like that a lot. I'm curious to see. Like I said, I'm locked in now. I'm curious because I think our first game is Saturday. Is it Saturday or is it tomorrow?
It might be tomorrow, but she's a daughter of Shane Hill. Like, first of all, just congratulations, welcome to Chicago from C-Red Radio, from the Barroom Network. Welcome to Chicago. Congratulations on making it to the league, sister. Come on over. That's what's up. You all are our queens, as my brother was saying. Like, we're in this together. And we know the Chicago Bulls do a lot to make sure that the whole Sky organization is promoted in the right light. And I believe their general manager's got a new extension as well. It's got a 4-year extension, and so I believe it's some really great things heading that way. And so any last thoughts on the Sky real quick, Josh?
No, man, I'm excited to see what they do, and we're gonna talk about them on here as well. So it's like this section is primarily about the Chicago Bulls, but outside of Chicago Bulls is Chicago basketball, and the sky encompassed that. And so our sisters in the WNBA that are coming around doing their thing, they will get their roses here.
Amen. Amen. Okay, we're gonna go into a couple quick things real quick. Josh, we were talking yesterday. We were talking about there's always some error conversations going on.
Yeah.
Which player is good? Which player is good, and which error? And all those different things. And so, the '96 Bulls. This may be a topic we might need to save for next week because when we talk about the '96 Bulls, it's hard to just talk about them real quick. And so, but real quick, we can go around the table real quick. Would the '96 Bulls, real quick, which team was better? Would the '96 Bulls survive in today's game? And would the '73 and '9 Bulls, how would they fare in 1996?
All right, cool. I quarterback this. So Ryan Hollins was actually talking on First Take with Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, and Shaq had told the producer to check his cup because he had to be drinking Patron to say that the Warriors will be better than the Bulls in this era and in the 90s. And it's just not true. It's not, after a while, it's just not about being biased because, of course, the question I had to use, I was like, what era are they playing in? If they're playing in like 96 where hand checking and defense was physical, the Warriors don't win. The Warriors don't win. They don't have anybody tough enough. I don't want to hear about Steph or Clay, and just no disrespect. I think they're two of the greatest shooters in NBA history, but not when you get physical with them. Not when you get just bottom line as a coach. I mean, can we curse on here? I'm sorry. Can we curse on here? I don't want to curse when I'm not supposed to. But if it's like, as a coach or a basketball player, whatever, somebody get a hot hand and you got a little guy doing all this dribbling and floating and laying up, as a coach, I'm telling him, go knock him on his butt. He ain't gonna do that too many more times. We gotta go make an example and look who's last on the bench. You're not playing anyway. Yo, come here. Your job is to put him on the floor a couple of times. I understand that was a mentality in '90s basketball, whatever. They were dogs. And so of course, with the advancements in athleticism and evolution, the lateral movements and these step backs, a lot of that stuff might be hard, man, because Michael Jordan was struggling with Allen Iverson during that time because Allen Iverson was like introducing new mechanics of basketball. Him, Rod Strickland, Steve Francis, Stephon Marbury, all those guys were like the way they moved with the ball had never been seen before. So Jordan and those guys struggled with it, but we also won the championship and had the greatest record that year, so it didn't matter. Also during that era, there was only like 5 or 6 like great shooters at the time, and so Santiago took the blah, 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 words right out of my mouth. Because in today, and if you're going to today's era, Jordan played through those hardships and that physicality. In today's era, yeah, the defense might struggle because you can't be physical, but Michael Jordan would average probably 45 points a game because you couldn't touch him. Whatever. A 6 foot. Imagine Kobe or Mike or a guy or like just killers as scorers in today's era in their prime when you can't touch your hand check. Look at even if you want to go past the Bulls, imagine what Allen Iverson would do in this era with no hand, like since you can't touch him. He would essentially be what Kyrie is, whatever, but Kyrie shoots the ball a little better. But in my mind, no, because if you're going straight down, the reason why we were deadly is because like we were big, our team was big, and our team could defend. Everybody could defend. From the 4 down, we're locked down defenders. Because what would happen is, okay, who's defending the point guard? Ron Harper, elite defender. He's going on Steph Curry. So Michael Jordan can take turns. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen can take turns because Mike's going to try to guard Steph. No, we're going to let Ron Harper get tired guarding Steph because we need you on offense, Mike. And then it's like, all right, cool. Michael Jordan, guard Klay Thompson. Pip, you're our best defender. You got to guard Kevin Durant. Dennis Rodman is going to have to go against Draymond Green. Draymond Green is tough now. Draymond Green's not tough against 96 Dennis Rodman. I said what I said. He can deny what he wants because we can't compare errors, but Dennis Rodman locks him up. And the Warriors don't have a center. And so I'm just going to say Luke Longley or whoever we got, Bill Wennington, they're going to wash whoever. And so based off starting lineups, whatever, they don't win definitely not in 96. And today, and then like in today's era, today's rules, whatever, I still don't see us winning because how do you stop Michael Jordan? But I've seen Steph be shut down. I've never seen Michael Jordan shut down. So historically, I got to go with the guy I've never seen lose. And at the end of the day, 73-9 is cool. I actually have a shirt that I bought that the Bulls were wearing. I should have wore it today. I might wear it next time if we pick this topic back up. It says in that the Bulls were wearing during the 72-10 season, and it says 70 don't mean a thing without a ring. Y'all won 73-9 in blue, a 3-1 lead. We've never seen a game 7. We don't know what those are like. What's my brother's name on this show? I keep forgetting. I mean, we call him Jordan, but it's also we call him something else. I think it's game 6 because the games don't go past that. We don't believe in game 7. We don't know what those are like. Michael Jordan would say that he don't pack enough clothes for game 7s because his games never go in 7. And so in my mind, we don't lose to them now. We definitely don't lose to them then. And I think it's a pointless argument for people who didn't watch us play back then because they would know. They would know. We were the elite defenders. Yeah, we had one of the greatest scorers of all time, but guess what? He was also one of the greatest defenders, and he had help. From the 4 down of our starting lineup could lock up anybody. So that's my take. What do you guys think?
Game 6, what you got?
Like, this is definitely an interesting conversation because, like, you see how like the Warriors kind of like like re-evolutionized like the offensive game of basketball. Like, we got to give credit to like the greatest defensive team in NBA history, the '96 Bulls. And just that Bulls dynasty. And think about it. In today's time, they will be the smartest defensive players in the NBA. So think about this, guys. Just walk me real quick. Imagine a better Kobe Bryant, right? A better Kobe Bryant and a player, or at least at the same level, if not a tick better than Kawhi Leonard. And those are your top 2 players. And they're locking down Steph and Clay. You know what I'm saying? Because like, and there that is right there. A better Kobe Bryant and at least at the same level, if not a tick higher than Kawhi Leonard guarding Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. So that's what that is with Scottie and Mike, Steph and Clay. And Dennis Rodman will be a top 5 power forward in the NBA today because of the amount of rebounds. He'll be a better version, a more skilled and a smarter Andre Drummond, who like literally just like he literally trips on double doubles. He's just grabbing rebounds. Dennis Rodman had games where he had 0 points and like over 20 rebounds, multiple games like that. It's like his rebounding was a science to Dennis Rodman. Draymond Green would have had problems, and Andrew Bogut would have been washed away by Tony Kukoc.
I didn't even want to bring Kukoc in it because it wasn't fair.
You can't be like, well, I didn't want to bring Kukoc in it. We're just talking about like really Steph and Draymond, and then we're talking about Kobe. I'm not Kobe. It's like Mike, Scottie, and Dennis, and 3-on-3 it doesn't even compare. It doesn't matter which era because those are the best shooting. Those are the best shooters ever, but those are the best defenders ever. What are you going to do?
Facts.
It's nothing you can do, guys. Wrap it up real quick. It's nothing you can do. It's nothing you can do.
It is one thing you can do. If we played them in the finals, you know what you can do, Bulls Nation. You know what you can do, C-Ray Radio. You can get your jerseys and your hats ready because we go into Grant Park if we play the Warriors in the finals. And I'm saying it right now. We go into Grant Park. We don't lose to them. They're too soft. And I said it. They're too soft. I love them, but they're too soft. They're too soft for our era of basketball. And in today's era, what people don't realize about Michael Jordan is when the game started, he elevated his game. So what makes you think Michael Jordan would have developed a better jump shot like Kobe Bryant did? Kobe Bryant is the byproduct of Mike for the next generation. When the game transitioned, Kobe lost a lot of weight and became an amazing shooter because he had to evolve with the game. Very similar to what Derrick Rose is doing now. So just like the game physically evolves, these people that were the greats would have become better shooters too. So that's why I don't want to hear that, oh, they can't shoot or they can't move. What makes you think they wouldn't have evolved with the game?
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing about the game that's declined is the physicality of it, and we're a team that won championships in the height of that.
Yeah. But the IQ increased though. The IQ increased, and like think about like the 81 Mamba Kobe. He would shut down Steph Curry one on one because you talk about tenacious defense and like unconscious offense, the rhythm unconscious. Like that's what you get with Michael Jordan. Like so you compare players like that. It's like you're talking about Steph and Clay are great offensive players, and Clay's a good two-way player, but he's not on Scotty's level when it comes to two-way. Even though he's a way better shooter. Scotty overall better talent, but to bring it on home, it's just like you got to bring it to the Bulls because they would have been the smartest defensive players. They would have had the most blocks, the most steals, and they would have did it with the least amount of fouls because they would have got smarter. They would have got smarter, and they would have closed the three-point line.
Exactly. Shout out to Santiago because I heard you say it in the chat. The Doberman D would have locked him up. Doberman D douses the Dubs. Put that on the shirt.
Greatest
Doberman D douses the Dubs.
Offensive of all time. And it's like defense wins championships.
Facts.
Yep.
Chicago's proven it.
Six times.
Six times.
Six times.
Hey, Josh.
Six times.
Six times. Six times.
Bow.
Hey, fellas. And so as we let's wrap this. We're gonna wrap up tonight real quick. Great points. Obviously, I'm going with 96 Bulls. It just makes sense. They have Dennis Rodman. Nobody in today's game is stopping Dennis Rodman in his prime. So just we don't got to go to anybody else.
Yeah, because he'd be a problem.
He would be a problem, and Draymond can handle that. And so, guys, we're wrapping this up real quick. We want to leave you all with moments a moment to never forget in Bulls history. A moment to never forget, and we want to go to my man Derrick Rose. Never forget what we had. You got to know where you came from to appreciate where you're going in the future. And we're starting the hashtag Bring Rose Home.
Chicago plus.
Forget. Check it out.
Chicago plus 14. Big number. Rose tries. Banks it in. Oh, beautiful play from Derrick Rose. And it's an 11-point lead.
Yes. Just the body control, the strength. I mean, that's just play of the day material right there. That's
last year's MVP. Brilliant fourth.
Okay, gentlemen. So as we get some quick takes on that, I saw Kevin Garnett, I saw Ray Allen, I saw Rajon Rondo. These are the people that I saw Derrick Rose splitting, going to the rack. The big three, the big ticket, and the boys. Respectfully, they are great. But real quick, why should they never forget that?
Because he was a rookie, and if you watched the game the other night when he played, he did something very similar when he came across, went behind the back, and hit reverse off the English. He can still move like that. It's just that he can't do it all game anymore. So, don't ever forget, because I think people forget that whatever. If it's like you lose a step, but you don't lose your IQ. And that's all. That was just a smart basketball play. And what's going to happen is like your senses increase as you lose your athleticism. So he's probably just a smarter player now, which means he's probably going to do that and just make you look dumb the way Chris Paul does it.
Man, Santiago, we trying to wrap up, but you gonna keep us going with these awesome comments, bro. Santiago in the chat, these Rose comments is Jordan. What you got?
I mean, the reason why we shouldn't forget and remember that is because he's coming back. Pure and simple. That's all I got.
Very good. Very good. Very good. But the reason why I love that as a moment to never forget in the future, we want you guys to actually vote on these moments that will play for you, because never forget what Chicago sports, what we grew up with. It's about grit. It's about never giving up. It's about the fact that I see you, big man, and I'm going to still take you to the hole. What Derrick Rose just did right there, he did the same thing against Dwight Howard. He did the same thing against LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. It was no fear, all faith. He was taking it to the rack. And that was from the guard position. And that's why I'm down with Derrick Rose no matter what jersey he's on. And my brother plays like him.
Which one?
And that's what
I was like, wait a minute, I'm not dunking again yet. Which one are you talking about?
I know, right? And so as we wrapping up real quick, some last minute shout outs. Remember that we are about longevity of health and wealth and mindset. And so at the end of the day, you want to fuel your bodies what you feel your body to do. We learned from Icky Johnson this past weekend at a leadership conference. How I view what I do will determine how I do what I do. And so I'm always going to fuel my bodies with the right type of things to give me the maximum output on optimum growth. So visit the website. Much appreciated. But wrapping it up real quick, going around the circle. Jordan, starting with you. Last minute shout outs, any statements, game 6, what you got?
Oh man, as always, man. I just want to just shout out to everybody that's crushing it on even on the sports trading scene right now. As always, you can subscribe to the Game 6 channel for your sport investment insights, man. So many things are popping, but just do it wisely, do it smart, keep it simple, and just have some fun, man. So thank you guys for plugging in, and we'll talk to you all next time. Peace.
What you got, Ace?
I'm good. Thank you guys for tuning in. I told you this is C-Red Radio with Bros Talk Bulls. Be on the lookout. I've already started brainstorming. The merch is coming soon. So be on the lookout. That's all I can say. Just look out. Merch is coming soon.
There we go. Bulls Nation, be encouraged. Keep your heads lifted up. It's going to be a drag right now. We didn't be able to get into the Zach LaVine missing out for so long, too much. We're going to see who's going to fill the gap. It might be by committee. Okay. And so, but just like stay positive. It's so much growth to happen after that. We hope the front office to make moves at the end of the season. But real quick, I definitely want to shout out Bulls 101. My guy Chris and Laro. Follow those guys on Twitter @_Laro Hoops. And then follow my man Chris at KLA Hoops. They'll be going live on Saturday, I believe, at 1 p.m. I believe that's Central Time. You guys are bringing some great science to the game. And then shout out to everybody at the Barroom Network. We know Barfly Tailgate Show will be popping some things back off. Coming this Sunday, coming up. And then we definitely got to shout out my man Joey Mando, Chris Gonzalez, and it's your host, Chicago White Sox. I'm a Cubs fan, but I love we're here. We're going to represent all Chicago sports and say what's up to everybody. And so, Southburg Hitman definitely bringing the noise. And so great stuff. They had an amazing interview with Miss Alyssa a couple days ago. And so go check out that last episode. It's a phenomenal episode. And then shout out to my man John Buffon. Happy birthday, sir. And then we got my man Badge of Honor. Got some new merch across the Barroom Network, period. And so more to come. Besides that, peace, love, and gains from C-Red Radio. The Stampede is coming. Take care, and we'll see you next week.